everybody for coming. The man of the hour is Saeed Parker. Saeed and I met a number of years ago, and we've kind of become buddies because I've used Indus for a number of trips. We've gone to Thailand, which was, wow, that was a really cool trip. And I just went on a trip with them to Porto, Portugal. We went to South Africa with Laura. That was through Indus. And so they're our travel partner for this trip to Croatia. And I'll tell you, one of my other travel partners that I was looking at, because I asked them all to tell me what the programs look like and whatnot. And it was kind of difficult for the other guy to even be able to book things because their normal partners were so busy. They said they weren't getting back to them. And some of us have had that trouble here. It's like customer service, went and died or something during the pandemic. But Saeed came through with a proposal that's really exciting, I think. Everything has advantages and disadvantages. Before he jumps into the program, I'll say that this is one where we see a lot. Like we go, but it's divided up to where we're on the bus a few hours each day as we're going to see different parts of Croatia and Slovenia. So I'm going to pass it over to Saeed, who will walk through his presentation. We'll answer all your questions, and we'll try to finish probably a tad after 6:30, somewhere around there. Saeed, please take it away.
Thank you. I'm just about to share my screen, so give me a second, please.
Great. And just my speakers aren't super great here, so if you could just make sure that you're close to your microphone, we all appreciate it. People like me.
Okay, because you very kindly kicked me out, so now you'll have to put me back in there. Okay, I can do it.
Okay. Yeah, you're still co-host.
All right, can you see my full screen? Paul?
Not yet, but earlier I was able to see it. And you're still a co-host, so whatever you did before, do that again.
What are you seeing on the screen? You're not seeing it?
I'm looking at your face and my face and other people's names. There you go. Here it comes. All right, now I'm looking at a bunch of umbrellas.
Yeah, will come up here.
All right, and away we go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Paul, first of all, thank you, Paul, Monterey County Business Council, and everybody who is present here on this webinar tonight. We are going to amazing Croatia and Slovenia. That's the two main countries. And on the way, we're also touching briefly one day, we're going into Bosnia on a trip going to Split. So I'm going to speak about this, slide by slide when I will go through the presentation. This trip is scheduled to depart on April the 13th from San Francisco. I heard there is one beautiful lady who is going from, I think from East Coast. We are able to make an arrangement for you to give you a special price from New York if you want to go from anywhere East Coast. So all good. Once again, let's go ahead with the presentation, of which the objective is to present the feature product, which is titled Discover Amazing Croatia and Slovenia with Paul Farmer of Monterey Council Business Council, Monterey County Business Council, so that you grasp the features, know the facts, and book a fascinating tour at an excellent price as I will present it to you. What I'm going to cover today is the facts and knowledge on Croatia. I'm concentrating on Croatia because Slovenia, we only spending 2 nights and it's just, the capital. So the main destination we are going is Croatia. Otherwise the presentation becomes, too long. Tour highlights, what is included and not included, brief narration of the tour, one page on who we are in Just Travel, how to book and the cancellation, passport, visa, health, currency, some other information, a short video presentation on Croatia, which is about 1 minute and 20 seconds, and then we will open the floor for questions and answer. I suggest that instead of disrupting us, you can keep your questions to yourself, and then at the end, kindly ask your questions. So if Paul has to answer, he will answer. Otherwise, if the question is something that I need to answer, then I'm going to answer the question. Let's begin with the basic facts about Croatia. The official name is the Republic of Croatia. It's a parliamentary republic government. Its capital is Zagreb, and the chief of the government, chief is the president, and the head of the government is the prime minister. Geographically speaking, if you look at where my cursor is moving, this is entire Europe. This is, UK, Ireland over here, and this is mainland Europe. And you can see that this place, which is highlighted over here, is Croatia. In between the white space is the Adriatic Sea. Come down here is the Mediterranean Sea, and so on and so forth. So northwest part of Balkan Peninsula, as it is called, in southern Europe, bordering the Adriatic Sea between Slovenia in the north and Bosnia in the southeast. Its climate is continental climate, which means it has got hot summers and cold winters, but there are milder winters and dry summers along the coast. So if you are on the coast, and it has got a huge, coast for a smaller country like that. Population 4.1 million. Since this is a business council and most of you belong to the commercial background, I will also quickly cover this. Its GDP is 107 billion. Its per capita income is $26,500, just to give you an idea who they are. The official language of this country is Croatian, but English is widely spoken in the touristic area. That means if you are going as a tourist, and generally where tourists, most people will be able to speak English. And as a matter of fact, the entire Europe is like that. Unlike us over here, they will speak at least 2 or more languages. The religion of Croatia is predominantly Catholics. 86% are Catholics, 4.5% are Orthodox, and there are about 2% Muslims as well. The money currently is called kuna, and the 3-letter code like BRUSD and Canada is CAD. Their 3-letter code for the currency is HRK, but that's going to change. I'll speak about it when I'll come to the currency conversion. The time is 1 hour ahead of the GMT, which is the UTC now, which is the central time of the world, the London time to be precise. 6 hours ahead of the Eastern Standard Times. That means it's 9 hours ahead of you from the West Coast. 6 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time, which is from New York, Boston area, 9 hours ahead of you. The sea that it has, and again, I will bring my cursor. You can see the entire coast going from north to south has got a beautiful, beautiful Adriatic Sea. And it boasts a coastline of 1,104 miles with an additional 1,246 islands and islets. So you can see all this area where I can see my cursor moving. Some of them are here on the map, some cannot be seen because they are far too small, but it has got 1,246 islands and islets. Most of them are not habited, but some of them are very popular tourist destinations. Borders, I have already covered that: Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia, and Montenegro. So you can see Croatia is here, Slovenia is there, Bosnia is on this side, and then you have the other countries on the other side. Covers an area of 21,800 square miles. And the islands, like I told you, 1246 Island has got an additional 2,522 miles of coastline. That's huge. That's more than the mainland Croatia, as you can see. And the size-wise, if you will, consider this is not a huge country, it's 7 times smaller than the state of California, just for your information. Some interesting facts about the country: it is famous for its sprawling beaches, picturesque towns, and stunning scenery. Major cities of Zagreb, Dubrovnik, Hvar. Of course, there's beautiful, beautiful Dalmatian coast and islands. The Krka National Park, unique tradition includes, the Rijeka Carnival, and they also have some unique foods such as the puck cheese and the Lessiter cookies. It's also very popular for the Game of Thrones. So a lot of you, at least, younger generation, they know all about the Game of Thrones. So the King's Landing is actually the Croatian town of Dubrovnik. And, I think I have got a picture somewhere. Yeah, this one here, right on the top where my cursor is. So this is where the King's Landing on that very popular Game of Thrones is. I've already said 1246 Island, home of Dalmatians, the dog breed. Dalmatian, the very famous dog breed, comes from Croatia. Croatia is the country which invented the necktie, and 10% of Croatia is made of 11 nature parks, 8 national parks, and 2 nature reserves. So it's a very, very beautiful nature, scenery-wise, beautiful country. Croatia enjoys, as a matter of fact, 2,715 hours of sunshine. As a fact, more than Sydney, Australia, which was Paul's last destination, along with most of you folks who went with you. So Sydney has got a lot of sunshine. Croatia enjoys 2,715 hours of sunshine. It is not a big country, out of the 190 plus countries that we have in the world today, it's only 127 largest in the world. So it's quite a small country. And pretty much that's why the population is just about 4.1 million. Zadar in Dalmatia has the best sunset in the world. This is not my words. This is what Alfred Hitchcock had said. And I have covered one of the picture over here is the Dalmatian sunset. And a lot of people who have, witnessed this, they have agreed. And a lot of, you will see a lot of, writing about it, that the beautiful sunset is that of the Zadar in Dalmatia, which is one of your destination. You are going to go to Zadar. Nikola Tesla was actually born in a village in Croatia, and the name of this village was Smiljan. The gladiators fought here, and there is one amphitheater which is still, available. It's one of the only 3 which is actually in an intact position in the picture. Sorry, I just went, let me go back up again. This picture over here is that of that amphitheater, and you will be visiting this small place also here. Also, it's very famous for the largest truffles. So one of the things that you can buy when you leave the country is, wearing different types of truffles. So this is how Croatia is famous for. Let's talk about our featured product tonight, which is Discover Amazing Croatia and Slovenia with Paul Farmer. We're going to go on April the 13th. It's a 12-day tour. And the itinerary that we are going to cover, and this is San Francisco to Dubrovnik, Split, Plitvice, Opatija, Ljubljana, Zagreb, and back to San Francisco. This map on the right shows you how we're going to go. So we're going to land in Dubrovnik, and then we're going to travel to Split. We're going to go to Plitvice over here, then Opatija, then Ljubljana, which is in Slovenia and the capital of Slovenia. And then we'll come back into Croatia, the capital of Croatia, which is Zagreb here, and we will fly out of Zagreb. So into Dubrovnik and out of Zagreb is how we're going to cover the the country, our destination of Croatia and Slovenia. And when we are going between Dubrovnik and Split, we will briefly enter into the Bosnia, which is just bordering over here. The trip is 3,349 for this 12 days beautiful tour. And one of you, if you want to go on a single occupancy basis, that means if you want to stay in a hotel room by yourself and not sharing with your partner or your husband, wife, your spouse, then you have to pay an additional $599 to make it a single occupancy. What does it include? Is around international round trip airfares from San Francisco, 10 nights accommodation on double occupancy basis at listed or similar superior hotels. And I will give you the description of the hotel, or the pictures of the hotel one by one when I will arrive into that town. Daily breakfast are included, arrival and departure airport transfers are included, transportation in air-conditioned vehicle, sightseeing as per the itinerary, entrance fees to the Plitvice Lakes National Park and the Bled Old Town, service of an English-speaking tour director, English-speaking local guide. So there will be a tour director who's with you, but when you'll go to a specific local attraction, there will be an English-speaking local guide. Also, air taxes and fuel surcharges and all applicable local taxes is included. What does it not include? Is items of personal nature, tips, gratuities. For example, if nobody uses the phone, but in case if you used your hotel room phone for international call, if you use the laundry or minibar and all that is not included. Optional tours, and we have no optional tours. So I should not have put over here because we have 0 optional tour. We have covered everything where we are going. Visa fees are applicable. It does not apply for US citizen. So you do not require a visa to go neither to Croatia nor to Slovenia, or neither when you enter into Bosnia briefly during your day trip. Travel insurance is not included. Baggage fees may apply and vary by carrier. This is just a safe statement. The flight that we have looked at is Lufthansa, and Lufthansa will offer you 99% chance, a 23 kilo, 50 pounds bag checked in, and of course your one personal item that you can carry into your cabin. But post-COVID, airlines have gone crazy. And I'm just being safe over here because you never know by the time you fly, airline will start putting, for any checked baggage, we need to have a $50, $100 or something like that. So I'm just playing safe over here. Any other item which is not in the inclusion is also not included.
Saeed, before you go on, can I pop in? Could you go back 2 slides to the one with the price? And I'll clarify, Saeed, our travel throughout this trip is all by bus when we're on land. We don't have any internal flights within this itinerary. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. So I just want to say this price of $33.49. Normally, when we advertise the price, a lot of times the companies will say, oh, plus $150 for added taxes and fees. So that raises the price. So it looks cheaper, and then it adds that price on it. And then they also have optional excursions, which may be, $80 here, $120 there. Those all add up. But as Saeed just said, all of the tours are included in this price. So you're not having that added on top. And further, that single person supplement, normally travel partners will charge $100 per day that we're in a hotel. And this trip is 12 days, but it includes 10 nights in hotels. So normally that would be $1,000 extra if you want to have your own room. So this is really a good deal versus a lot of the other options that I looked at. And I just wanted to point all that out. And again, those of you who went with us to Australia, we had a lot of flights because Australia is such a big country. And sometimes we had problems with some of those airlines and having to not having a good baggage allowance. And so it was a big pain in the butt for us in Australia. We're not going to have that problem. So Lufthansa is one of the best airlines. We're going to be on buses. So Ronnie in particular, she's looking at me because she had problems with the baggage. We're not going to have any of those problems on this trip. Thank you, Saeed. Back to you.
All right, thank you. All right, so if there was a nonstop flight, which it doesn't exist, obviously, from San Francisco to Dubrovnik, it would have taken 15 and a half hours of nonstop flying.
Just a little louder if you can, Saeed. It's a little hard to hear you.
Okay, sorry. I said if there was a nonstop flight between San Francisco and Dubrovnik, it would have taken 15 and a half hours. Of course, it doesn't exist. So we will be taking 99%. We will fly with Lufthansa via Frankfurt and Munich. And my next slide, I will show you what those flights are. But again, until we are ticketed, anything can happen in the airlines world. That's why I'm saying 99% Lufthansa. Any which case, we usually will use a standard full service airline. So Lufthansa, British Airways, Air France, Delta, United, you name any of these airlines is what is used. But for now, the proposed flight, and this was, something that Paul insisted that he wanted to know what are the flights that we're going to go. So here we are. I've kept them as it is on Lufthansa, and I'll translate them for you. LH stands for Lufthansa. On April the 13th from San Francisco, we depart at 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon. We arrive on April the 14th, the next day, 10:30 in the morning. And we will have a connecting flight from Frankfurt to Dubrovnik at 4:20 p.m., which will bring us into Dubrovnik local time, 6:10 p.m. on April the 14th. So departing on April 13th, arriving on April 14th. So
okay,
the outbound connection,
Saeed, let me
I will elaborate. The outbound connection.
Saeed, if I could, let me just make the comment on that, because I don't think we have to go through all of that detail. I appreciate it. If people want, we can send you what that flight schedule is. It may not end up being that. It depends on how many people actually sign up when we reserve the tickets. But I will tell you, I told Saeed, I'm not going on a trip again without seeing the flight schedule ahead of time, because now when we went to Australia, we got there at the crack of dawn in the morning. That's not Indus's flight, because there's nowhere to stop on the way between San Francisco and Fiji. If you stop on the way, it's not a good stop. you know. And then when we went to Australia, we flew, to South Africa with Laura. We flew over to Dubai, and we arrived late at night, and the flight left in the morning. So you don't need to see that level of detail. It's nice that he shows it, but I want you to know that I'm watching what the flights are, and I'm telling them I'm not spending the night with my travelers like Laura and I did, sleeping on the floor. And we made the best of it, but we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. So, Saeed, not to cut you off, but that's all I wanted to share with that. Thank you.
No problem. That's okay. So on day 2, which is April 14, when you arrive in Dubrovnik, you will be met as usual with a small flight card, which will show the name of your group by a representative. You'll be transferred to the hotel. You'll check in on your day at leisure. The rest of it, anyhow, you're arriving at 6:40 if you took that Lufthansa flight. So by the time you check in the hotel, perhaps it's going to be 7:30 p.m. And after such a long flight, you'll do nothing but most probably sleep, except people like Paul, whom I've seen in action. I don't know how does he get that energy, but maybe he will be the one, whom you will see in action after that. The hotel that we are going for to stay 2 nights at Dubrovnik, it's a beautiful hotel Compass, and here are the real picture, an external picture, one of the actual hotel room. And don't come and kill me if this is exactly not how your room look, but these are the real pictures. Again, an area of the breakfast, some sitting area, and one of the bathroom picture that appears on your screen over here. What we are going to do on day 3 is that we are going to do a tour of Dubrovnik, which will be a half-day tour. So Dubrovnik is the proudest feather in Croatia's tourist cap. It is an elite destination and one of the most beautiful towns in the Mediterranean. Dubrovnik is very well known for that, as a matter of fact. It's an old city, which is encompassed by medieval walls that have been preserved in their original forms. That is one of the specialty of the city. And Dubrovnik was known as the Republic, as the Republic of Ragusa in the Middle Ages, and became the only Adriatic city-state to rival Venice. As a matter of fact, it's also referred to as the Venice of the South Europe. So this is what you're going to do. The pictures that you're seeing over here is that of Dubrovnik, various different pictures. Again, continuing with the Dubrovnik pictures over here. This is supported by skill, diplomacy, and wealth. It getting the the status of being called the Venice. And the city developed at a remarkable pace, particularly during the 15th and 16th century. Once you are done with this half-day trip, the rest of the day will be at leisure because this will be your second night that you're spending over here. So whatever you want to do, go on your own. Do go around the hotel, go around the city, whatever you want to do until you are ready to go the next day morning from Dubrovnik in a coach to Split. And going to Split, we are going to visit Mostar, which is a beautiful, beautiful city in Bosnia. And the that you see on your screen now are all of Bosnia, except this one on the top is that of Split. So this 1, 2, 3, and 4, these are the pictures of Mostar in Bosnia. This city has been recently listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and Mostar is on the banks of the river Neretva and is undoubtedly one of the most breathtaking cities in Bosnia. You will tour the elegant bridge, which the picture appears over here on your foot, on foot, and.
Saeed, do they still let the tourists on that bridge on the right? Do we still get to dive in there from the bridge naked?
No, I think that diving is stopped, I think.
All right, stop that, Paul.
Okay, and then you will also tour the elegant bridge on foot, like I told you, the old bazaar and the mosque. In the 1990s conflict, which we all know, most of the historic town and the old bridge designed by the, was actually destroyed. This old bridge was designed by the renowned architect called Sinan. This will all actually destroyed, but it has been restored. It has been recently rebuilt, and many of the edifices in the old town have been restored or rebuilt with the contribution of international scientific community, which is established by UNESCO. The old bridge area with its pre-Ottoman Eastern, era. Um, it is an European architectural feature, one of the very finest one, and is an outstanding example of a multicultural urban settlement. It also is a city that has got a spanning a deep valley of the Neretva River, and therefore it's immensely beautiful. And it was under the control of the Ottoman Empire, 15th and 16th century, and during the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which was in the period of 19th and 20th century, it was under the Hungarian rule. So this is one beautiful town that you're going to visit until you arrive in the evening into Split. Upon arrival in Split, you are going to stay in this hotel, which is called Hotel Corner, and this will be a home for next 2 nights. An external picture of the hotel, the reception area, or the one of the sitting area over there, one of the actual room pictures over here, and the reception area of the hotel, just for you to see what a quality hotel this is. Also on day 5, you wake up and you will be doing a day trip from Split to Troger, and then you will come back. So actually, we will be doing not only Split to Troger, we will first cover the town of Split itself. So in the morning, we will do the town of Split, of which the pictures appear. All the pictures that you see on the screen now is that of Split and not of Troger. It is a town of ancient history, built and preserved more than 1700 years ago by its inhabitants. And during your walking tour, which you will do a city walking tour, you will explore the UNESCO listed Diocletian Palace, which is peristyle, and Temple of Jupiter, and the cathedral, which is also very, very popular. The palace over there is one of the most significant original structure of late ancient architecture and a sort of imperial palace. Once we are done with the Split, we will continue and we will now visit the town of Troger. By the way, the city Split is over here and Troger is there. And it just takes about 35 to 40 minutes of drive, depending on traffic. So it's about under 30 kilometers. So you can say about 19 miles or so is the distance between the two. And this entire drive, as a matter of fact, it's a beautiful drive because you're going very close to the coast over there. So a little bit about Troger. It's a pearl-like town in the heart of Dalmatia. You will see the influence of the Roman Empire in the walls of the Cathedral of St. Lawrence. And also in the afternoon, you will return back to Split. So once you are done, the city of Split and the city of Troger, you will come back to sleep and back into Split. And it will not be late, it will be early afternoon. So again, you have some personal time on of your own, on Split on your day 2. On day 6, you will depart for Zadar. And remember, Zadar is the place which I praised in the very beginning, the most beautiful sunset of the world, according to our friend there. Also, it's one of the most beautiful historical cities of the Dalmatia. It has been the center of the Adriatic region since Roman times, and today it is a city with rich cultural heritage found on every corner. You will enjoy some free time to explore the city before you will depart via Zadar to your next town, where you will overnight, and that's going to be the Plitvice. Plitvice is, so all the pictures that you see on the screen over here, except this one, is the Lake Plitvice over here in the middle, where my cursor is moving. Upon arrival in Plitvice, you will stay 1 night over there, and the name of your hotel is Mariana and Rasta Hotel. And again, the pictures, the picture external, the bedroom, the breakfast area, and one of the washroom picture, again, real pictures of the hotel. And this is where you're gonna stay for 1 night. On day 7, you will depart in the morning for one of the most attractive scenery of your entire trip, which is the Plitvice Lakes National Park. Again, listed as the UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979. And there are actually 16 interlinked lakes between the Mala Capella Mountain and the Jusweca Mountain. The lake system is divided into the upper and the lower lake system. And the upper lakes are separated by the Dolomite barriers, and the lower lakes are formed by the crumbling and caving in of the walls above the subterranean cavities, through which the water of the of the upper lakes actually disappear. So you have this beautiful picture in front of your screen. You are gonna visit this, and then you will continue and you will go to Pattaya. The hotel in Pattaya where you are gonna stay for 2 nights, it's called Hotel Paris. An external picture of the hotel, one of the bedrooms of the hotel, the spa area of the hotel, and so on and so forth. This is going to be a home for next 2 nights. And what we are going to do here is you will depart when you will go from Plitvice to Pattaya, you will gonna, this is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the Adriatic, in the entire Adriatic. And it is also known as the Pearl of the Adriatic and Queen of Tourism for Croatia. So it has got 2 titles, Pearl of the Adriatic and Queen of Tourism. This little town offers the largest number of hotels in relation to population. And that speaks for itself because it's a very, very popular place to go. A lot of Europeans also actually run and come down to this place over here, even for a 2 and 3 days vacation. So that has got a huge number of hotels available in comparison to its population. So you will enjoy a breathtaking tour of the city with the service of a local guide of the Pattaya. And then the next day morning on day 8, of course, you'll sleep in the hotel, which I've shown you. You will do a full day excursion into the peninsula of Istra. And you're going to go to visit 2 places. One is called Rovinj, and the other one is Pula. The pictures that appear on your screen just now, they belong to Rovinj. In this full excursion, you will be doing Rovinj first, which is a charming, picturesque town and one of the romantic places in the Mediterranean. It was originally an island until 250 years ago, when the narrow channel which separated it from the mainland was filled. So now it is, filled in, but you can see this picture in the middle where my cursor is moving. Earlier on, it used to be an island. Then this narrow channel was filled, and this entire thing was connected into the mainland. It's delightfully pretty city, very lively. It has got a wide ranges of cafes and restaurants and galleries and things like that. Typical, European city, a unique European city of Rovinj. From here, you will continue going to Pula. And Pula is the place where that, 3,000-year-old town, where it is home to the Roman amphitheater. So one of the places where the Romans actually fought in the theater, and this is one of the 3 places in the world actually which is still intact. It has got its city gates, its wall, the arcs of the Sergians, Roman Forum, Roman Mosaic, and Cathedral of the Assumption are some of the places that you will be visiting. The pictures that appear over here is that of Pula. And mainly the main attraction of this one is this amphitheater that you're going to visit, Pula Amphitheater. We'll come back from this trip the whole day. From morning, we'll do Rovinj, we'll do Pula, and we'll come back again to sleep in a hotel. On day 9, we will leave the city and we will go towards Ljubljana, which is now the capital of Slovenia. We will be, before I move on to the hotel, the pictures that are appearing on front of your screen now are that of the beautiful city of Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia. Home to one of the oldest philharmonics of the world. You will explore the Baroque town buildings. You will stroll alongside the majestic Ljubljana River, which is a beautiful river, by the way, in Europe, which flows to the center of the town. And there are many, many bridges that you can cross over the river. The most famous of these bridges is called the Triple Bridge. It has got a specific name in the Slovenia language, but I'll not be able to pronounce it, so we'll just leave it at Triple Bridge. Then you will also do the Baroque and the Art Nouveau that has marked the exceptional city, together with modern architectural style. The Old Town is the main attraction of the city, which you will be visiting. And it was built on a hill as a fortress from which you will see Ljubljana and its magnificent surrounding. So the hotel that we're going to stay in Ljubljana is called Radisson Blue Plaza Hotel in Ljubljana, which is a beautiful hotel. The external picture right in the middle where my cursor is. You're going to stay here for 2 nights. One of the actual bedrooms, the breakfast area, and the washroom, once again, to show you the quality of the hotel, which is being used for here. Radisson Blue is a very, very popular chain from the countries of Scandinavia. It has got a name for the 3 countries. I'm just forgetting the name. But anyhow, it's a Radisson Blue hotel. We don't see a lot of Radisson Blue in North America, but in Europe, they are a very, very popular chain. On day 10, we will be doing again a day trip. So we will go from Ljubljana to Bled. From Bled, we will continue on to Bohinj, and then we will come back to sleep in Ljubljana. It's a full day tour, and you will be doing the mountains surrounding stunning topography and the breathtaking Bohinj area. And one of the main attractions in this area is the Lake Bled. And again, the pictures that are appearing on your screen over here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These pictures of that Lake Bohinj, which you will be visiting. Lake Bled, which you will be visiting in the Bohinj area. Also, you will visit the old town and castles with a local guide before you continue to the nearby Lake Bohinj. So from this, we will continue on to Lake Bohinj area. And we will then come back and sleep again in Ljubljana. On day 11, we will move on and we will go to the last city on our itinerary, which is the capital of Croatia, called Zagreb. This is a historic city, and it's rich with its gorgeous greenery, famous for its parks and well-preserved natural environment. Your tour of Zagreb will take you through the rich history of the city. You will see the historic upper town. You will see the St. Mark's Church with its famous multicolored mosaic tile roof on the square where the Croatian parliament and seat of governments are also located. You will pass by the university and the city's Gothic cathedral with the fountain in the front. And I think I have covered the picture of the fountain maybe on next slide, which is a very famous fountain in Zagreb. Also, you cannot miss the Croatian National Theater, which is housed in the present-day Old City Hall. And it is also home to Zagreb's drama, opera, and ballet production. Zagreb has got a very famous musician also who is very popular, forgetting his name, but he used to do beautiful operas, and some of the symphony orchestra also very popular from Croatia. This will be a perfect example of the city's diversity. It is not only the cultural and historical landmark, but also favorite hangout spot for the skateboarders. So we are going to spend 1 night in Zagreb, and the hotel that you're going to stay in Zagreb is Sheraton Zagreb Hotel. And again, the pictures appear on your screen. The external picture, one of the bedroom, and some other pictures of Zagreb Hotel, the Sheraton Hotel. Day 12 is our last day. After the breakfast, we will, you'll be transferred to Zagreb International Airport to prepare for your flight back home to San Francisco. So before I move on, what did we cover? We started in Dubrovnik, and I have done this actually on a Google map. And we covered 5, if we went nonstop, driving from Dubrovnik to Zagreb, doing all these towns and cities that we have done, you will just do the entire trip in 12 hours. Imagine this is divided over 11 days. So exactly like Paul said in the beginning, that it is not going to be a painful drive. You will be driving short hauls, and you'll stop. And in between also, for example, when you go from Dubrovnik to Split, you are actually going to enter into town of Mostar over here, which is right inside. So you're taking a break, then you're coming back and sitting maybe another 45 minutes, 1 hour, arrive in Split, then you sleep 2 nights. So just giving an idea that this entire thing is just about 580 miles, And if you went nonstop, it would take 12 hours. Divided over the 11 days is going to be very comfortable drive and nothing to worry about. Who is Indus Travel? So we are an award-winning tour operator. We have more than 35 destinations. When I say destination, means countries, 138 tours. If you look at our website today, we do a lot of chamber trips in 2019, and I'm referring to 2019 because we did not exist in 2020 and 2021. Now travel has started. We did 243 chamber trips alone, chambers of commerce trips alone. MCBC is something like a chamber of commerce trip also. Privately owned independent business, expert advice from a very knowledgeable team. So I will be very quick because I'm just going, above the time now. I, for example, come with a lot of experience, more than 25, 27 years in the industry. Been to 62 countries so far, still counting. We have very competitive rates, and we're offering this 12-day trip, for example, inclusive of AFF for $34.50. 21 years in business. We established back in 2001. A+ rating on BBB, and our rating is also administered by a licensed Google review partner, which is called Reviews.io. This is how Reviews.io's emblem looks. Passport and visa. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months from the date of return with 2 empty pages. That is the requirement. So when you arrive there on April the 13th, April the 14th, it must be.
Hey, Saeed, can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
Go back one slide. Okay, you misspelled reviews on the previous slide. Go back. I want you to go to the slide 2 back that has one more back. So I just want to make a comment about this, that, some of the trips I've been on, we've been on the bus for too long. You might have to leave your hotel, go 3 hours to see a site, 3 hours back on the hotel, on the bus to back to the hotel. 6 hours is too long to be on a bus. There's a big trade-off that we make between switching hotels and seeing a lot of the country. And I know, because I've traveled a lot, that people like it when we don't change hotels a lot because it's convenient, right? The problem with that is you don't get to see as much of the country, or you spend more time on the bus. So this one, you get to see a lot of the country. You don't spend that much time on the bus, and it's nice to get out on the bus some because you want to see the country. So I think that they've done a good job with this. The other comment that I want to make is some of the other competitors that I looked at their plans, they cut out big parts of Croatia. Like to get to Zagreb, they'll cut that part out. So I know you guys online can't see me pointing, but the people in person, so they may cut out this whole section, or they may cut out part of this and say, okay, we'll fly from here to here, and then you pay extra to go to Dubrovnik for a couple extra days if you want to go to Dubrovnik. That's how the other ones do it, because it takes, it's time to be able to see this and not be rushing too long on the flight. So I liked what they put together. I'm super upfront with people because I'm going to be in the hotels with you. If you're only in the hotel one night, let's not even bother unpacking. If you're even 2 nights, some people are like, I don't even want to bother unpacking. Okay, fine. But the advantage of doing it this way is you're going to see a lot more of the country and not have too much time on the bus and things like that. So for this country, I think this is the best way to see it. And I've looked at several different options with the competitors. Go ahead, Saeed. I have a couple other comments that I'll make, but as soon as you're done wrapping up, thanks.
Sure. Visas are not required to both the main countries, Croatia and Slovenia. A tourist visa is granted to US passport holders for 90 days. Travel insurance, including trip cancellation, is highly recommended. And I'll not speak about it, Paul, because Paul is an expert in speaking about it, so I'll leave it to him. Health concern, COVID situation is like most of the rest of the world. COVID has not been eradicated, and so therefore it has not been eradicated from Croatia either. But the world has opened up, and if you are, vaccinated, and it is like anything else, and there's no significant concerns of any health concerns. Neither the vaccination proof nor a COVID test is required to enter any of the 3 countries that you're going to visit, and that's a beautiful thing. You're going to go to Croatia, you will go and enter into Bosnia, and then you will be also going to the capital of Slovenia, which is Ljubljana. Any of the countries you don't require neither the proof of vaccination nor any COVID test is required. The temperature during the mid-April in Dubrovnik is going to be like this. So 57 degrees temperature, high 63, low of 52, daytime temperature 60, night temperature 58, and you will see 9 hours of sunshine in Dubrovnik.
So
As you
I can wear
travel
my
northwest,
bikini, is what that says.
as you travel northwest Zagreb, it may become by a degree or two cooler than how you see it in Dubrovnik.
When,
Sorry.
Saeed, when are they replacing with the Europe? Is that before we go? Also,
Yes,
oh,
before
good.
you go. In next month, in January 2023, the Croatian kuna, which is currently the currency, will be replaced by euro.
Good. I don't want.
And today, 1.07, almost $1 is equal to €1 as of today. Credit cards are widely accepted throughout all this, the towns that you're going to visit. And therefore, you can withdraw cash from local ATMs. They're gone are the days, that you need to go to a local, money exchange at the United States airport and, take some euros and things. You really don't require all that. When you arrive at the destination, as you need, withdraw your cash. If you know that I'm going to spend so much on my, on my booze, on my, food, on this and that, most of the places credit cards accepted. But in case you want to tip somebody, you want to buy something, from a smaller place, you want to buy a drink quickly here and there where you want to pay cash, you be the judge. And my only tip is that don't keep on withdrawing small amounts, because the local bank charges you and your bank back in the United States charges you twice. So just
Saeed, if you don't mind my interrupting again, no problem with that. But most of you have traveled with me. We'll have a trip info night again before we go, just to talk about details like this. Saeed, I just want to be respectful of people's time and have some time for Q&A. And then I have a couple other comments. So sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead.
Okay, here's some miscellaneous information. This will be available with Paul, so you can take it. It's 230 voltage electricity, and the plug types is plug C and plug FO here. So all you need is just an adapter. Most of your equipment do not need a voltage converter. And again, Paul is an expert of, he has done hundreds of trips. He knows what to do about it.
Yeah, we'll cover all
what to buy from there: souvenirs, lace, and embroidered items. And as you can see over here, some of these items over here, lace items and embroidered items, coral jewelry, silver jewelry, hard items, which is here, lavender, olive oil, and truffle products, and handmade, non-edible, duff-painted, ornaments, wine and liquors. So I've just placed some pictures for you, what is to be bought from there. How do you book? There is an online link, which Paul has placed on his website. Otherwise, when you can ask him what is the link and he will give it to you. If I go to this link, it's a live link, as you can see. It will take me there, but I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
When you arrive in this link, you will see complete details of the tour, more than the brochure. So the brochure is available also with Paul. But if you want to look at complete details, that means you'll be able to see the pictures of the hotels that I've shown you. You'll be able to enter your personal details, your names, your date of birth, your passports. You can be uploaded over there, and you can pay deposits and balance payment online with credit cards. So you can pay either direct bank transfer or Visa and MasterCard, and we do not charge you any merchant fee. We absorb the fee. Your group coordinator is Sabine, who most of you will know from your Australia trip. So same Sabine will take care of this trip also as a group coordinator. This is her email address, and that is a toll-free number with her extension. If you still prefer a manual form, I can prepare one and give it to Paul, and then you can fill them on your manual form and along with your check, and you can give it to Paul. There is one interesting thing that has happened recently.
Okay, actually, everybody, Saeed, hold on just a second. So I'm ready to take it home, but Saeed did tell me about this option, which is new. They didn't have it before. So just pay attention to this part. If you want to pay it over time, you don't want to pay it all at once, even though I'll listen to this part and then I'll take over to go home. Thanks. Go ahead, Saeed.
Sorry, I'm just chewing because it's my 9:35 and I've not eaten in a long time. So I'm just chewing on some sugar. My apologies for that. I thought it would take longer. Okay, so we have partnered with a finance company which is called Uplift. It's a known company. It's a US company, and there is a recent promotion which is running, and it's running until January the 4th, whereby they are offering a 0% interest, subject to approval, of course. So depending on your credit, depending on how you get approved, different people will get different approval. But you will get a 0% interest. And this is an interesting time, just before Christmas, when your priority is not to spend on the travel. If you get an approval even for 3 months on a 0% interest, a very interesting proposition. So when you will go to make a booking online, and it can only be done online, when you will come to the monthly payment page during your booking procedure, you will select pay monthly. As you can see, I have done an actual exercise, and it comes to $155 a month if you got a 12-month or whatever that thing is there. But your approval may come just for 3 months, just for 6 months, depending again on your personal credit, rating and score and whatever you may be having. So this screen over here is an actual screenshot. Click monthly, then a separate window will open which says let's get started. And from here, you will be going into the Uplift's website. You will do your own entries, which is your, whatever they will ask you the questions in order to get you an instant approval. Should you get approved, they will make a full payment to Indus Travel on the spot, and then you do not have to bother about the payment until your monthly payment will come up, which you will decide how to go about it. Coming to my last item.
All right, we'll watch the video. Guys, hang on just a second. I know people are getting restless. Let's watch the 1 minute, 20-second video, and then I'll take it home, and then we'll get you out of here. Go ahead, Saeed.
Sure.
Oh, is that me swimming? I saw me swimming. We can't hear any sound, but that's okay. I'll make up stories. You get younger when you travel to Croatia and more beautiful. If you don't know how to sing, you'll learn how to sing. We'll play basketball with a broken basketball hoop if you're paying attention, and visit the castle from Game of Thrones where you can try out their guillotine. You don't have to go to church, but you can if you want to. You'll dance if you're with me, and then, boy, we're getting dizzy here. There's graffiti somewhere, and we're jumping on a trampoline. That's not the Roman Colosseum. Okay. Go to church if you want to. There's another church. That looks like the Colosseum. Oh, we're going to go partying on Friday night, apparently. And then it's a beautiful sunset. And trees. And boats and water. Beautiful flowers. Don't jump. I'm here. I made it. Mom. All right. All right. Thank you for that, Saeed. Go ahead and let's release the, actually just release the screen, or I'll kick you out. Stop participant sharing. All right. Thank you for that, Saeed. I just want to make a couple of points, then we'll answer any questions you have. I told you we'd be a little after 6:30, and I didn't lie. First thing, Saeed is the hardest working travel partner that I've had. The level that he goes above and beyond, and he can tell me about their ratings, and they got this and they got that, and that's nice. You got a good report card. But when I say that I know how much time Saeed goes to resolve issues, if there's any issues, then that's what matters to me. And Sabine as well. I've worked with Sabine now on several trips. So they get my stamp of approval. In my book, that matters more. And then if you know me, I also look at all those details and notice if there's something misspelled on your slide or something, because when we're traveling, there can be little problems. And so I will be there. I'm not the tour guide, but I make sure everything runs smoothly. Why am I excited to go to Croatia? Well, there's really beautiful pictures that makes me excited. But one of my friends named Blake, some of you might know, he's traveled all over the world. He used to live in Italy. And he said, Italy is great, but Croatia's better. Because now Italy has the Colosseum and these things. You got to go there in your life and fight all the other tourists on the Amalfi Coast, because there's a gajillion of them. But a lot of the history in Croatia is there. It's not as expensive as Italy, and it's not as overrun with tourists. And it's, as you saw, it's right across the Adriatic Sea. So I haven't been there before, but when Blake is like, you got to go there, that gets me excited about it. And then I want to say one other thing. A lot of times when we book with our travel partners, if we do it by paper, it creates a lot of extra work where people will come and give me their passport, scan your passport, do this, do that. Indus has done a really good job with their website. If you need help with it, let me know. Myself or one of my team will help you create your account online. But once you do that, not only do you see a lot of the details of the hotels and things like that, but you can make your payments directly yourself. You can upload your passport. We don't have to worry about optional excursions here, but on trips where you have them, you can choose those and you can pay for it. It just makes everything easier, because when we went to Australia, part of the problem we had was a lot of people like working outside the system and trying to do this and trying to do that. So for this trip, I'm going to encourage people to book through Indus. It'll be easier if you want to do that payment option over time. No other travel provider that I've worked with has integrated that into their system. So Indus has done really well with that. But overall, I would say I'm excited for this trip because I know the people who travel with me are awesome people. If they're not, we kick them overboard. But it's going to be a great trip. And we're leaving relatively soon in April, which means normally you have to have the payment in. They're pushing it ahead with COVID to where it's like 120 days ahead of time. And I told Saeed, we need to work with this to get this done. We have some time for people to see if they want to go, get their deposits in, get their payments in. So normally our due date for everything is like early January, and Saeed's trying to push it back a little bit to get us a little bit more time. I will let you know when the final payments are and whatnot, but it may be in January. If you end up going through that company and spreading payments out over time, that's fine. But anyway, that's kind of my pitch about it all. Yeah, what other questions do you have?
I have a question.
Laura.
Most trips that I've been on have had like an add-on at the end. Like Cairns was an add-on in Australia, right?
Right.
So Budapest is less than 4 hours away from Zagreb. So I'm just wondering, is there an option or?
So I'm not doing a group one because this is a longer trip. It's 12 days. Remember, if I had chosen one of those other ones, the add-on, you would have paid extra for it to go to Zagreb or to go to the one in the south. We're going to have trouble remembering the names of all these places, but Dubrovnik, I think it was. But Laura, if you want, you can look. Laura.
Dolores can go.
Oh, you guys are already, you're taking my girlfriend away from me? She's taking my girlfriend away. You can figure out other stuff like that. But as far as this trip, because normally I like the main trip to be 7 or 8 days and then a 2 or 3 day extension. But consider it that the extension is built into this trip at the same price. So if you want to go do something above and beyond that, because I know you want to like see everything and do everything, then we'll talk about it. Other questions? Effort. Yeah, so Saeed, I'm going to let you answer that question. The question is, given the war in Ukraine, is there any concern about safety in this part of the world?
I don't think so. There are still hundreds of tourists are going. We have already sent since we opened 3 trips to Croatia already. They've gone and come back. So there's absolutely. I mean, Croatia is still a little far away. Even the countries which are bordering Ukraine, people are going there and coming.
Yeah, I did have one of my past travelers say, "Oh, I want you to organize a trip to Uzbekistan," and I'm like, "Okay, that's a little too close to all that stuff for me." So, but remember, Croatia's next door to Italy, so I don't think there should be any issues with all that. Yeah, but we should be lucky though, because we've seen the cost of everything has gone absolutely crazy, and some of the other vendors and whatnot. I mean, travel. Everybody wants to travel now because we're all sick of being stuck at home, and so the availability of hotels, the cost of things, the flights. I mean, the fact that we're able to bring in this trip at this price with this company. I mean, that's a big deal.
One more question.
Yep.
Travel insurance. Which insurance?
Yeah, so Indus has travel insurance. You noticed how Saeed said, well, I'll let Paul talk about it, because I'll tell you, I am not a fan of these travel insurance companies. And the last couple of years, when we had people who bought insurance before, for Australia and whatnot, some people got their money back, but a lot of people, all those insurance companies do is screw you around, and at the end of the day, say you're not covered for some ridiculous reason. I mean, I have a very negative view of them. Now, having said that, I know some people did
Well,
get insurance and they got their money back. And I don't want to make, for me personally, I don't want to get involved in the insurance because I've spent so much time trying to help people and writing letters and helping them with this and that. And sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. So
share that because
please.
we were supposed to go to the River Nile cruise.
Uh-huh.
And we bought travel insurance to AIG.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, the person who organized that passed away.
Yeah, they bought travel insurance to AIG and the organizer passed away.
We filed a claim and it's been since October.
Yeah, and they haven't gotten their claim back, which is exactly what I'm saying. Again, there's different companies out there. They're not all that bad, but me personally, I'm sick of dealing with insurance companies. I personally never buy the insurance unless you have a reason. You have, mom at home or somebody that you're taking care of and you think something may happen. There is something new that they didn't really have before, and that's called cancel for any reason insurance. And it really, it was there before, but cancel for any reason is supposed to be for any reason. It costs more than the regular one. And there still is some fine print, like you still have to let them know a little bit ahead of time and whatnot. You might want to look into that. It also depends, the insurance company, it depends on what your age is, depends on what the cost of your trip is. There's all these different factors. So I like to work on the trip part. I hate dealing with the insurance part because there's just no win in it.
$6,000.
And that's not the only story I've heard. And I have gone to bat with so many companies. And Indus does not own the travel insurance company. They partner with someone else because people want to get travel insurance. So if that company doesn't cover it, Indus, they're not making money off it. It makes them look bad. So they don't really want to do it either, but they feel like they need to do it for their travelers. And I wish I could say, oh, here's this company, trust that company. No, I don't trust any of them. I know some of them out there are not as bad as what I'm saying, but that's just my opinion. And
I bought it in Italy and I didn't even use it because I was afraid
most people buy it and then they don't use it, but go ahead.
I have trouble walking, for long.
Oh, I'm glad you asked that.
That was then what kind of a.
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that. So there's different difficulty levels with some of the trips. I went to Portugal recently. My mom's like, why are you not taking me? She would not be able to go up and down. Portugal is super hilly. Imagine walking around San Francisco. And Saeed, correct me if I'm wrong, but this trip is relatively light as far as you're not climbing up and down. They rate each of their trips on level of difficulty, and this one is rated as light.
Easy.
That doesn't mean that you're never going to have a lot of walking on particular days, but what we can do is talk with the tour guide about your particular situation. And if there's a problem on a particular day, you may stay on the bus or they may have something else that you can do. Sometimes you could stay in the hotel and do something else. But remember, on this itinerary, we're not staying in the hotels a lot. So all I'll say is we'll work with you to make sure that you're okay and you're comfortable, but you should know ahead of time and feel comfortable. I have a guy who's not coming, did not come tonight. He's signing up already. And he's like, I need a handicapped room. I have some issues with mobility. We will help you with wheelchairs in the airports so I will have you let me know ahead of time and I'll let Indus know. And so we can help with stuff like that. And then when we're over there, we'll work with the tour guides on it to make sure that it's reasonable. Is that a fair answer? Saeed, is what I said, do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an easy tour, this one, easy enough.
Okay, it's shorter when he says it. All right, any other questions? Okay, seeing none. So if you want to go on the trip, there's not really a worry about space right now, because I think we should be fine with space. I sent you all a reminder email today. If you want, some of you, I don't have your email address, but that reminder included the Zoom link and the registration link to where you can go to our website at the Business Council. You can create your account. You can pay your deposit. Saeed, the deposit's $500.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you can pay the deposit and get things going. If you need any help with that or you're not comfortable with the computer, let me know and I'll help you. I can have you come to my office. We'll schedule an appointment and get that stuff's going. So normally I'll have like paper forms and people bring checks. I'm trying not to do that this time. Just figure out if you want to go on the trip and you feel comfortable opening your account online, go ahead and do that. They'll report to me so I know who's signing up. If you need any help, let me know.
Your specific due date for the deposit, or that's what you're talking about in January? not for the-
Yeah, so January is supposed to be the final payment deadline.
Yeah,
So, and some people like to split things up in payments. Some like to let me just pay the whole thing off at once.
so no specific due date, but day of your.
Well, the specific due date, it's gonna be early January. Right now, it's January 4th. I've asked Saeed to give us a little extra time because I didn't have a lot of time to tell everybody about this trip.
Right.
So I'm expecting to try to pull together another info session in a bigger room in early January before the payment deadline, just so that I could talk to some of the other people who may be interested in the trip but weren't able to come tonight. So, but the payment deadline will be early January to maybe mid-January. Okay, all right,
And
so
there
with that all said,
and-
I want to thank you guys again for coming. It's always fun, you know that. I haven't messed up one of these yet, so.
Yeah.
And to all of you who are online, Nick and Sarah, we will certainly hope you come, and it's nice to talk to you guys. And Sarah, I'll answer your question offline.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, guys. All right,
Thank you.
Saeed, good job. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye now.